I'm too sexy for this song, too sexy for this topic, too sexy for this channel. Are you too good for everyone else? Are you always right? Are you self-entitled? Then maybe you're a snob. What is a snob anyways? Well, according to Google, a snob is... No, that has too many big words. According to the Urban Dictionary, snobs are people who think they're better than someone else based on superficial factors. Now, when it comes to being a snob, there's all types. You've got Netflix snobs, wine snobs, Instagram snobs, and of course, your political snobs. And yes, there's even city snobs, as in, I'm better than you because I live in a particular city. To determine the snobbiest states in America, we had to measure snobby things based on the number of snobby factors in each metro area. You know, places where people are wealthy, live in big homes, attend theaters, shop at organic markets, and send their kids to private school. We even measured which states have the most college graduates. So turn up your pinkies as we go through America's snobbiest states. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. First stop on our I'm Better Than You tour of America starts in none other than Colorado. What makes Colorado a snobby place? First off, Colorado ranks second in the nation for people who graduated college. Now, having a bunch of smart people doesn't make you elite, but having the 11th richest people and the 8th most expensive homes in America gets us closer. The internet agrees. Colorado has snobby hippies. That's snippies for short. While you and I wear Columbia on our short hike, pretentious Colorado guy rocks Patagonia, and possibly even real furs. Elitist hotspots in Colorado include Glenwood Village, Vail, Boulder, and of course, Aspen. Because face it, if you live in Aspen, you remind everyone you live in Aspen. You should go to Aspen sometime and check it out for yourself. Just don't ask anyone if there's any real estate for sale in the area. They'll take one look at your shoes and know you're a fake. Where's the next snobbiest state in America? That would be way out on the West Coast in the state of Oregon. The Stone Snobs. Stobs? New coin term? No? Now here in Oregon, people think their shit don't stink. Before we get to that, let's talk about some statistics. Oregon's middle of the pack when it comes to income levels and home values, but it's third in number of farmer markets per capita and fourth in the number of fancy breweries. See, here in the Beaver State, it isn't wealth that defines your snobbery. No, people here aren't rich. It's their superior taste in food and art and culture that makes these West Coasters so affected. In Portland, your choice of beer speaks volumes about your coolness factor, as does your choice in coffee, and your style of mustache, and what music you're listening to. Fall Out Boy? So basic. Hemingway? Totes. The number of breweries here speaks volumes about how stuck up Oregon people are about their consumption habits. And don't even think about getting into an argument with an Oregonian about the best strain of pot. They'll totally blow you away on that topic. Now, Oregon snobs aren't the snobbiest on the West Coast though, which means Oregonians still have some work to do if they want to move up the snob totem pole. If I were you, I would want to be me too. I would want to be me too. New Jersey's an interesting place. Pretty much the snobs and the snob knots. See, here you have the upper echelon SUV driving soccer moms in North Jersey and the Philadelphia Eagle fan South Jersey trash. Statistically, Jersey ranks in the top 5 in 3 categories we measured. 5th in terms of advanced degrees, 4th for home values, and 2nd in household incomes. New Jersey towns like Princeton, Chatham, and Mendham could throw themselves a parade, and they wouldn't even care if you and I came out and tossed confetti at them. Unlike Oregon, it's definitely money which impacts the New Jersey snob factor. Just try to talk to New Jersey residents in Summit or Short Hills about your problems. You know, you're saving money so your kid can go to college, or you hope to retire when you're 65. They'll be like, oh yeah, good luck with that. My cat's richer than you.
How moist and delicious it is, how good it would taste. With Fancy Feast gourmet cat food, good taste is easy to recognize.
While Oregonians are beer snobs, New Jerseyans are bagel snobs. They simply refuse to admit that bagels in New York actually taste decent. Some people would call Chris Christie a snob, others would call him a slob. Now, we all have snobby friends who brag about when they visit Hawaii, but the people who live in Hawaii are on a whole nother level. Many of them anyways.
Did you know Hawaiians have the most expensive homes in America?
That's right, Mappy. The average home in Hawaii is over $600,000. Would you believe that this home costs $1 million? Only in Hawaii. But with views like this at your disposal every day, Wouldn't you feel a little elitist yourself? Hawaiians rank 6th for income levels and 7th in America for most farmer markets per capita. And believe it or not, Hawaii ranks 9th in America for number of private schools per capita. You might want to call Hawaiians wave snobs, since a surfer in Hawaii has it made size-wise. In fact, in some Hawaiian circles, you're judged solely by your ability to hang 10. Sun snobs? Check. The weather here's amazeballs. Hawaiians regularly complain about how it's too hot, too cold, or too cloudy in every single state they visit. Hawaiians are also, unsurprisingly, rainbow snobs. Anything less than 3/4 of a rainbow simply doesn't count, says every Hawaiian native ever. We go all the way across America to get to our next snobby state, Virginia. We're not talking about the regular down-to-earth folks in Southern Virginia, in places like Richmond and Norfolk. 1/3 of Virginia's entire population is in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and these folks have money, class, and status. This is where the Virginia snob dwells. It's true that Virginia is pretty much great at everything, and the people in Metro DC know it. Great schools? Check. Flourishing economy? Yes, sir. Success? Metro DC ranks as the 2nd richest region in the U.S. Just about everyone in Northern Virginia is so affected that they say they're from DC, but they're actually not. People are affected by their educational status here too. You need a JD or an MD or an MBA or a PhD. You see, a BA simply won't do in Northern Virginia. You might as well tell everyone you dropped out of high school. Just across the nation's capital is our next snobby state, Maryland. Snobs don't Uber, so we'll call a private car service to get us there. You can bet a lot of people in Maryland don't use A1 on their steaks or listen to Nickelback on the weekends. No, that's way beneath their standards. In DC, it's all about what you do. You can get by in New York if you're an artist, but in DC, that'll get you nowhere. Much of the population on the Maryland side of DC have elitist jobs and the incomes and homes to prove it. Maryland folks are the 3rd wealthiest, have the 3rd biggest homes, and have the 5th highest number of private schools in the nation.
Here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons.
A lot of families in Mount Airy, Chevy Chase, and Annapolis sure know about silver spoons. Jada Pinkett Smith is from here. David Hasselhoff was too. Parker Posey was born here, and she's a total snob.
We met at Starbucks. Not at the same Starbucks, but we saw each other at different Starbucks across the street.
I want you to want me. I need you to need me. Is there a doubt that New Yorkers think they're the center of America? Look at this map. It's true. They rank in the top 10 in all the money categories, as well as toward the top in the sheer number of pretentious things to do. As you might expect, New York City is the center of the snob universe in this state.
Did you know there's 41 Broadway theaters in New York City?
That's right, Mappy. New York City has more of an art scene, theaters, wine bars, and luxury shopping than most entire states. The best part is a lot of the theaters in New York City are reachable by bus and cab. Oh wait, New York snobs don't do that. In some of the snobbiest New York burbs like Scarsdale, kindergartners already have iPhones and Insta accounts. No joke. And their high school kids drive Audi A4s. And they eat only the finest mustard in their sandwiches.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon?
But of course.
Grey Poupon, one of life's finer pleasures.
I'm so fancy, you already know. Connecticut is plain Snob Central. Let me give you a hint as to why. It starts with an M and ends in unny. Now, most of Connecticut's pretty laid back, but Connecticut has more snobs in its little finger than most states have in their entire hand. The folks down here are loaded. Does making the most money per capita in the nation make you a snob? Most likely. So does having the 4th most private schools, the 3rd biggest homes, and the 4th smartest residents. A lot of these people's car payments are more than our mortgages. Apparently, the right-of-way at this Greenwich Starbucks is determined by your car's Blue Book value. That's the rumor anyways. Fairfield County kids win lacrosse titles and take riding lessons. They get accepted into Yale. They drive fancy new cars.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. I know I'm plastic, but I'm fantastic.
Of course, California has to be on this list, even though the good old 90210 isn't even likely the snootiest city in the state. In fact, within the greater LA area, Beverly Hills doesn't even hold a candle to the snobbery that exists in places like West LA, Brentwood, Westwood, Glendale, West Hollywood, Pasadena, and Bel Air. In terms of the actual stats, Cali, as the cool kids say, is 5th in income levels and 2nd in home values. But it's not just the money that makes the snobby pockets shine, it's the California attitude. In California, there's people on the red carpet who are total snobs, and those who try to get close to it. And they're snobs too, for some reason. Go into a Whole Foods in the LA area and nobody will look you in the eye. Ride the train in San Francisco and the cool tech kids stare at their phones. Many Californians in the biggest cities are too busy, too important, or too self-absorbed to give a shit about you and me. She's hoity-toity, perhaps the snobbiest person on Capitol Hill. Some of the snobbiest areas are in the beachfront places in California like Laguna Beach, Malibu, Rancho Palos Verdes, Coronado, and Redondo Beach. They might invite you in to check out their beach house, but they'd probably give you some toot if you track sand into the house. I feel bad for them. Only the second snobbiest place to live in America? Likely they'll turn their noses up at our rankings and insist for a recount. We finally come to our final destination on our snob circuit, Massachusetts. He that is the almighty. While Connecticuters are money snobs, the folks in Massachusetts are book snobs. This is the most pretentious, elitist, and downright most smarty pants place in the nation. Sure, there's a lot of money in Massachusetts, but as a whole, it's their brains that make them snobs. They do have the highest average IQ in the land, after all. This is also home to some of the most prestigious universities in the country, places like Harvard, Cambridge, and MIT. Now, what's interesting about this list is, for the most part, these are the most liberal states too. So what we learned today is libs are snobs just as often, if not more, than wealthy conservatives, especially the liberal elite. For the most part though, whether you're a liberal or a conservative, if you're out of touch with the working class that your political beliefs are supposed to protect, you're a bit snobbish. A lot of us are out of touch with the class above or below us. Now, if you live in some of the areas we talked about today, congratulations, you're officially a 1%er. If you don't, well then you're just an average 99%er. And there's nothing wrong with that either. The end. Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.